So we start with a little out-of-the-box business tip. Now, I've been very inspired by the anticipation of the expert Evan Porter coming along from Priority Management. These dudes train very, very cool, busy people. They are in the corporate sector, and they are very, very, I'm honoured, to be honest, that they're here in the room with us. So it got me thinking, because I was having huge email overwhelm, like something like over 2,000 messages in my personal inbox, and in my business inbox over 500, and using my inbox as an actioning hoo-ha, whatever you're probably not supposed to do kind of thing. I was doing everything wrong. So I was motivated to be ready for what I was going to hear tonight in terms of the learning that Evan has to share. And I just dealt with and got rid of a lot of emails, because whatever he's going to teach me tonight, I don't want to go back to the office tomorrow morning and use the excuse of being an email overwhelmed to just be paralysed and not do anything. So I got rid of all the emails, so whatever he's going to impart tonight, I'm going to go, yay! Guess what I'm going to do tomorrow is implement it to make my life easier. And in so doing, and also in the anticipation of that knowledge, and also having the experience of 30 members signing up in 3 weeks, I had a little bit of overwhelm just going on generally, as you could imagine. It was very positive, very happy overwhelm, but I thank very much the existing members who I just didn't communicate, I don't think, to all of you very much for about a 2-week period, because I just could not. I was completely overwhelmed in a positive way, but I was very conscious of the fact that I was very time poor. So I went back and looked at my default diary. Who has heard of that term, default diary? Who uses a default diary? Who can explain what a default diary is? Please. Yeah, so you go ahead and plan your working week. So if you work 2 days, if you work 3 days, if you work 5 days, 6 days, whatever it is, that you overlay on your working hour diary the things you want to get done. So it's kind of like the ideal diary. Now, as soon as you put an ideal diary down, guess what happens? It does not happen. However, you get pretty close. You get closer than not having anything at all. So if you've never come across the term, if you've never used the concept before, rather than review your default diary and to add in colour codes, I'm going to get you to do something else. So I've taken 1 day out of my diary, which is a Thursday. So I've got it colour coded. So this is, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. This is tomorrow, and that's in a week or so time. So I'm just demonstrating this. With a default diary, there's no actual rules other than some guidelines that I'll share with you tonight. There's no right or wrong, because you just need to work out what's right for you and how you work and what you want to achieve. So I'm going to explain how I work and the reasons why, and I'm not saying this is the way you should do it. I'm just giving you the reasons why so you understand in relation to how I work and what I need in my timetable, which hopefully will help you to relate it to yourself. Does that make sense? Okay. So this one is, I worked from 7 a.m. I went to a Rotary club meeting. I've just joined Rotary. Just as an aside, the reason why I've joined Rotary is because they're a membership organisation and I run a membership organisation. Therefore, I need to be reminded what it's like to be a member. So I also joined because it's a great way to give back in the community. But anyway, that's an aside. So I work from 7 a.m. in the morning to 5:30 in the evening. And I think it's 6 meetings and 1 personal session, which is going to the gym every day. So last June, I set a goal that I wanted to be of a certain level of fitness, and I wanted to look a particular way because I'm filmed and photographed all the time in business. And you know what, when you get those frumpy looking shots and you go, no, I'm not really happy with that look. So I was wanting to get rid of that look. I also had the experience of my father passing away last year, in April last year, the day before Out of the Box Biz, which is another story. He died at 71. That's very young in my book. I'm going for at least 90, so I needed to get fit. So I have committed to myself that I'm going to go to the gym each day. It's already in my diary. That's not negotiable. Another reason, I don't know why I've got to remember to breathe tonight. I'm just so excited to have you all in the room. I don't normally forget to breathe. I don't know what's going on. So I also put the gym in all weeks because I live an existence of I have my son 1 week, and then on the other week, I don't have my son. So I was living this weird existence up until June last year of full-on work when I didn't have him, full-on not, and being a mum when I did have him. So I needed to put some things in place that are consistent through every week, because otherwise I was feeling a little bit weird because it was all too extremes. It was all too black and white. So I needed to put a bit of structure into my day. So I've committed to myself and I put that in. So as a result, because it's in my daily schedule, I actually achieve going to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, not because I say I need to meet the goal of going to the gym 5 times a week, because as soon as I do that, I would fail, but it's in my daily schedule. Does that make sense? And anyway, I've got 6 meetings there. I think I had some insane day and had something like 7 meetings a couple of weeks ago. My 8-year-old son, he saw me at the end and he just goes, "Mum, you can't have any more than 5 meetings a day. That's it." So 8 going on 100. Those of you who know him know I speak the truth. Isn't that true, Natasha? So anyway, this was, I believe, for me, and a little bit of out of balance, a little bit out of kilter, because although I had all these fantastic meetings, I had no downtime to actually action things in meetings, to get things done. So tomorrow, I believe, is more balanced. I still go to Rotary, I still go to the gym. Now we're showing who I'm meeting with tomorrow, Jay. And Robin, who was going to be here, but she's not, so hopefully she will be there. These are member meetings. I'm also showing you this because my priority for meetings, face-to-face meeting now, has to be with members. And the reason why I meet with non-members is generally if they're thinking of joining or they're an absolutely incredible referral to one or many of our out-of-the-box thinkers. And then what I've put in here is some admin office work time where I can actually do some action items and get things done. That is very exciting. I'm excited by that. Thanks, Ed. So this is the week I don't have my son, so I work longer, and this is the week that I do have my son. And the reason why I've colour-coded it this way is because I've recently handed over my work diary to an assistant. And the reason why I did that is because if you think about all the phone calls, all the phone tagging you do, all the emails you do to and from, trying to pin down a time to meet with someone, it's a ridiculous number of communications to confirm an event to happen. If someone else is doing it on your behalf and they just get the job done, it's freed my inbox up and it's freed up my time. My phone rings hot anyway, but it's not for all phone tagging generally. So I've colour-coded it green. Yes, it's green. It's a different colour green on this screen to that screen. But I wanted it to jump out because the assistant that I use doesn't just work with me, works with a lot of people. So I don't want her confused or having to trawl through. Like if she had this, she wouldn't know where to book, whereas that's jumping out at her saying, this is where I book time. So that's my reason for colour coding. I'll just share with you when I was focused on 2 businesses, when I was working in Property with Purpose and Interactive Arts, I actually themed my days. So Monday was like marketing and promotions day. Tuesday was focused on the property business. Wednesday was financials like bookkeeping, any analysis from reports from my accountant, or invoicing or follow up on invoicing for both businesses. Thursday was focused on interactive arts, and Friday was focused on doing planning type tasks and general administration style things. So that's the way I worked when I was running those two businesses. So I'm mentioning that to show you this is not the only way to do it. Okay, so if you want to have themed days and that's going to be an easy way for you to work, well, that's great. But now that I'm focused on Out of the Box, because Out of the Box is growing so big and so fast, I need to be in front of people. So my priority in my diary is a large proportion of the diary is being given to face-to-face meetings, which is what I'm all about. So I have to be authentic about that in my own working life. Does anyone have any questions? Like I say, this is not necessarily the right way. I'm just sharing this with you to get you thinking about it. Because when I'm committed to blocking out my time and being more organised, I work a lot more efficiently and I'm a lot more effective, and I actually have more downtime. And last weekend, I actually had a weekend. I mean, sure, I checked bits and pieces going on, but I wasn't working for like 8, 10, 12 hours like I normally do on a weekend. Does anyone have any questions about the concept of the default diary?
So that's your old way, that's the way that you used to do it, and that's what you're giving me today. Is that what you're saying?
So I gave it to her last week, so it's changed because there's been confirmations. So this I've still got available times, as in I took a copy of this a few days ago. By now it could be full, but I do it a month in advance now. Yep. It's like on Google Calendar, hoo-ha. I don't know the technicalities. Talk to Jay Shaw or Karina McDonald. Oh, this is where we hold hands. 7 o'clock, hold hands. Buzz, get the electricity back. Yes. The general manager, Peter Clark, is fairly embarrassed about this. He's like tearing the I don't know what, the hair out or something of the security company that hasn't fixed this for the last 4 months. Anyway, so we got it back real quick. So Karina McDonald and Jay Shaw, could you please both stand up? Brand new members and virtual assistant elements of both their businesses, as well as other things that they do. So they both do that, but they're also specialists in other areas as well. So please go make sure you get to know these people. Thank you. Take a seat, ladies. Any other questions? So what I suggest you do, if you've never done this before, or even if you've done it before, it's a good exercise to do, is to create a to-do list. So in your on your clipboards, can I borrow someone's clipboard?
If it means I don't have to do it, you can pay mine.
No, you still have to do it. You could have turned to the page, Ed.
Sorry, Dom.
Oh, Sharon. I'm taking Sharon. Sorry, Ed. Thanks, Sharon. So if you just turn to the default diary tip page, if anyone doesn't know, this is the front hecklers and the positive hecklers. So if you want to be positive hecklers, join them. If you want to be negative hecklers, please don't turn up. I mean, please remain silent. So what I suggest you do is do a to-do list of everything you either want to achieve as a business owner, or if you work for somebody else, everything that you're responsible for. So just write a to-do list. Just brainstorm everything you've got to do. I know. You feel sick right now, don't you? I know. Then...
Write that as perfect word. That's how I want my to-do list to be.
Yeah, me too.
Nothing on there.
Hang on, I can't turn the page up.
See, mine would have worked out.
Then what you can do to back that up is take this page and copy it, do about 5 copies, and during your day just make little notes of the types of tasks you are actually doing and when you're doing them. So things like being on social media for 8 hours of the day, depending on what your business is, may be a little out of balance and could be improved to, say, 1 or 2 hours. Some businesses generate a lot of their business through social media, so I'm not dissing it, mine being one of them. But it just allows you to assess what you're actually doing. So this is, the to-do list is what you should be doing, and this is what you're actually doing. Then once you've done that, get your highlighter pens. Who's obsessed with Officeworks? Who gets excited? Everyone. Who gets excited going to Officeworks going, yeah, I need another fluorescent pen. Candy store. And all the little, colourful little tags and things. Anyway, I digress. We need to get a member who's at Officeworks, don't you think? So then you colour code different things. For me, I colour code things like marketing, PR, networking, because that's all the fun stuff for me. That's all the stuff I like to do. So that's all nice, pretty colour. The bookkeeping, Lita's looking at me in shock. Horror, I'm walking away from Lita. The bookkeeping. Where's Gail and Gail? They're on that side. The bookkeeping. Can you tell I don't like that task? The bookkeeping, the accounting reports. I actually get excited about that because generally you look at those and you make more money because you go, oh, I need to follow that up. So you colour code different things and then you go back to your to-do list and then juggle the to-do list down. Then, I don't know what I've got next. I don't think I've got a page for it. Then you actually create your default diary. And what you do is just find a free, thank you Sharon, you just find a free, Monday to Friday template off the internet or, templates in your computer or just photocopy your paper diary and fill it in. Now, when you create your default diary, you don't have to commit to it forever. You just give it a go. If it's working for you, you're making more money, you're more efficient, you've got more downtime, yay, keep it. If it's not working, change it, because it's your default diary. This is what I mean by there's no actual rules other than if you're a morning person, then you need to be doing things more like problem solving, creating new products or whatever it is, rather than if you're, a night owl, you probably want to be doing that stuff later in the day. Does that make sense? Are there any questions? Yes, Joe. Yep, that's a way of doing it. Nick. Hello, Nick, stranger. Yeah, you're not staying there, you're moving. Priority Matrix, is that an app? Can you put that on our private Facebook? A link or whatever the thing is? Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Nick. So do that. Anything else? Because I'm going to just give you a few moments. You won't actually get to the point where you've completed your default diary unless you've already got one now. If you do have a default diary, I would encourage you to look at your colour coding and just review it and make sure it's working for you, whatever those codes mean, the colour codes mean for you. So I'm just going to give you a few minutes to get started on a to-do list or review your default diary, because I've talked about it now, and if you don't actually do something yourself, you're not going to learn it. Because doing something right now yourself will draw out some questions that I can either answer individually as I'm walking around the room, or I can answer if you want to ask in the public forum with the whole group. Does everybody understand what they're doing for about the next 3 to 5 minutes? Okay, go. Now that is nowhere near enough time to do justice to the exercise. However, we've got some really cool things going on and I don't want to take up all the time because you're not here, I'm here to facilitate, not to take up all the time. Who believes that would be a worthwhile exercise to go home and focus on for the next week? Yeah. Andy, I think you should join and just join the positive hecklers there. The question was, who believes working on this for the next week, as in the to-do list and what you're actually doing and comparing them, would be a worthwhile exercise over the next week? Yes. And please do let me know if it's made a difference, either way, positive, negative, indifferent. Okay.